What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, the Black Kakashi, and I'm here with another video. Now, this one I am talking about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and why Stardust Crusaders is the best part, or should I just say my favorite, my favorite part of JoJo. If this is your first time here, I post gaming and anime related videos. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all that other bullshit that people talk about on YouTube. So, now I would say about, let me look it up. When did JoJo's Bizarre Adventure air on Toonami? So in 2016. Damn, it was that long ago? Wow. Sheesh. Anyway, okay, so 4 years ago, I started watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, at the time, I was hearing, all the hype and stuff behind it, because I think in 2016, I think they were on Stardust Crusaders or Diamond is Unbreakable. I think it was Stardust Crusaders, maybe. I'm not really sure. But in 2016, I started JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the dub version. And personally, I loved it. Cause I didn't really feel like watching JoJo on like Crunchyroll and shit, because I don't really like how Crunchyroll streamed their anime. Like compared to like Hulu, Netflix, places like that. I don't really like how Crunchyroll streams there, because they be having a lot of buffering and shit, and I don't really have time for that. So that's why I don't really rock with Crunchyroll like that. But the reason to be honest, I've been kind of obsessed with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure lately. It might mostly have something to do with me like recently watching, just binge watching all of the parts on Hulu. I'm still waiting for Hulu to get part 5 on there, because I'm currently watching the dub version on Toonami, and watching it on a weekly basis isn't as good as binge watching it, because you could process it a lot more on a binge than watching it weekly. But it depends on how good it is and how much it sticks to you. It depends on how good it is. But how memorable it is. I don't know why I said memorable. Now, my journey with JoJo started in 2016 when it first debuted on Toonami, and I was really hyped to watch it because I've been hearing so much shit about it, and I really loved it. I love the interact. I love being introduced to Dio and Jonathan Joestar, the first bloodlines of what's to come in the later seasons, or should I just say in the later parts of JoJo. And the rivalry between Dio and Jonathan Joestar is literally solidified what was in store for us in the later seasons of the show. And once we get to part 2, I love seeing Joseph. And at the end of that, we get a little tease of our infamous vampire, Dio Brando, making his triumphant return. They all caught my attention. I loved every single one of them. But when we got to part 3, that's when it started to catch my attention more. Like, to be fair, I don't like the idea. I don't like the concept of people saying skip part 1 and part 2 of JoJo, because 1, that's stupid, and 2, it ruined you don't know the story of it. You don't know the story behind what's going on in the story in the lore between the Joestars and Dio. So skipping that, it makes literally no sense. So if anybody tells you to skip JoJo, 1, they're stupid, because if you are not hooked, if you are not hooked into JoJo after the very first episode, just off of 1 moment alone between Dio and Jonathan, or 1 evil thing that Dio does, if you are not hooked after that, then I guess skip it. But I don't really recommend it, because 1, you're gonna miss some fire moments. 2, you're gonna miss the birth of the infamous "to be continued" meme. That's a that's a clear red flag right there that you should not even think about skipping parts 1 and part 2. And plus, you're gonna miss fire openings. Come on, Bloody Stream. One of the greatest openings in JoJo history. Is literally top. I want to say top 2, but I'll say top 5 because I love. There's a lot of freaking openings in part 2 and Stardust Crusaders and Diamonds Unbreakable that I really love. So I'm gonna just say top 5 right now. So don't even think about skipping parts 1 and part 2. Don't even think about it. If anybody tells you to, either slap them in the face or block. And if they tell you on social media, block them because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're not real JoJo fans. If anybody tells you to skip those parts, they are not real JoJo fans. They're lying. They're full of shit. Don't even listen to them. So we get the Stardust Crusader. We meet the infamous Jotaro Kujo. Basically a high schooler with the body of a 30-year-old athlete, which is what everybody in JoJo looks like. Everybody in JoJo is buff as hell. How you 10 years old and you built like a freaking 30-year-old basketball player getting ready to step on the court and shoot a 3 in LeBron's face? How you built like that? Come on, that makes no sense. But this is anime. You don't question logic in anime. We get introduced to stands, and from what I've seen so far, it seems like stands are the primary source of power in the JoJo universe, because we first were introduced to Hamon, and now we're introduced to stands. Them introducing stands is a good thing, because you don't want to spend too much time on a certain thing. You want to just get it, milk it out as much as you can, and then move on to something better. To be fair, we introduced to so many amazing characters like Abdul, however you want to pronounce it. It's pronounced any way you want. Abdul, it doesn't matter. As long as you know who the person is, that's all that matters, and how goat he is. We're introduced to Abdul, aka the Fire Flame Spitter. The smartest black man in anime history. Well, one of the smartest. But I'm gonna just leave it at that, because I don't want to give no spoilers or nothing. We're introduced to Abdul, Joseph, a returning character of Joseph, Jotaro, Kakion, Polnareff, Iggy. We're introduced to so many great characters. The one thing that I loved about Stardust Crusaders is the group, the characters that are being shoved in your face a lot. That's why after Stardust Crusaders, you see so many. You basically see the group troop. Is that what I want to say? The group troop, or that's why you see the main character with a group of people behind him, like in part 4 with Josuke being accompanied by Okuyasu, Jotaro, Kakion, and other characters. And in part 5 with Golden Wind, you have Giorno, Abakio, Bucciarati, Mista, all the characters like that. Like, this is the blueprint of Stardust Crusader is the blueprint of what's to come in the traits of the JoJo formula, which is, stand of the weak, boss, the main villain having something to do with time. But I'm getting too ahead of myself. But Jotaro, I said Jotaro. But Stardust Crusader is the blueprint of all of the things that have happened in all of the troops, all of the traits and stuff that's in part 4 and 5. I'm not sure about part 6, because to be honest, I really don't have any intentions of reading the manga. Like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to me is so good that I would not even think about reading the manga. I think the only anime that gives me that same perspective is Promised Neverland. Now, I don't read the manga for Fire Force or Demon Slayer. I'm not saying that it's not good or anything. I'm just saying it's not as good as it's not as good as those two. I mean, like I said, I don't even. It's just not as good as those two. That's all I'm saying. The primary objective is beating the shit out of Dio because Dio activates his stand, and that causes Holly, aka Joseph's daughter and Jotaro's mother. Since Holly is not as kind-hearted and it's not like Jotaro and Joseph. Well, he's not like the Joestar blood. She's not like the Joestar bloodline. She's not rough around the edges and a thought slayer like Jotaro and them. So she basically is kind-hearted. So she doesn't have the ability or the will to deal with a stand because her stand was activating too. So they literally have to kill Dio in order to heal her. Like as I mentioned earlier, the group is like the key goal, the key part, and as in why I love Stardust Crusaders and why it's my favorite part. Like you have each type of personality. Jotaro, the badass, the main character, and literally doesn't give a fuck. He will beat the shit out of you. He will beat the shit out of you, nigga. He's young. He's not dumb, but he's young, and he'll drop you in a second. Joseph, the mature man, the mature person of the group, but it's still, silly and goofy like he was when he was younger. Abdul, the second mature person of the group, and it's kind of like I don't want to say the key. What do I want to say? The heart and soul of the group, not the. Like, he's a key factor of the group. Let's just say that. He has one of the strongest stands in the group. Basically everybody has a strong stand in the group. But if I had to rank the stands, it would be Jotaro, Abdul, and Kakion. But that's just my opinion. It'd be Kakion, Iggy, and then Polnareff. And then, Joseph is last because he got the shittiest stand out of everybody. They did Joseph dirty. He was so raw in part 2, but then they gave him a crappy stand. But it is helpful, though. I'll give it that. It's helpful, but it's not as good as the other stands in the show. Let's just say that. But, Abdul being, he's a key asset of the group. Kakion, same age as Jotaro. Playboy. Loves the ladies. MILF hunter. But, he's cool. And Polnareff is literally Polnareff is a Speedwagon lookalike, but he's not Speedwagon. Even though he has the same length of life as that nigga, because Polnareff is freaking. He's a Speedwagon. He's a Speedwagon. You can't even deny he's a Speedwagon. But he loves the ladies. He's dumb. He's the real ladies man. Every time he be simping for these girls. Anybody that runs game on this dude, he literally simps for them. He's dumb. He's dumb, and he should have had his own spinoff. The much crap he got into. That's how much crap this dude got into. He literally had a lot of stuff going on. Every time. Polnareff is the one character you don't want to be with, and is the one character you don't want roaming off by themselves, because he's always getting into some shit. Like, the Stardust Crusaders should have been called Polnareff's Bizarre Adventure because of how much shit was going on with this dude, bro. Like, you cannot take your eyes off him for 1 second without some shit going on. And if you was with him, you're going to get into some shit too. Jotaro literally said, I should have never hung out with you. I should have just let you go by yourself. But we all know what happens when he goes by himself. So you can't let him do that. Yeah, it's either two choices. Let him get fucked up by himself, or both of y'all get fucked up, and then y'all fuck the person up that did it. That's literally how it goes. The journey. Besides the group and the characters of the Stardust Crusaders, the journey is another thing. Just watching them all get into crazy shit. Like, there's no stopping of what's going on. Like, no matter what they do, Dio sends a goon after them. Like, this dude, Dio, it's like one incident after the other. They tried to go by plane, that didn't work. Go by boat, that didn't work. They drove a car, that didn't work. Submarine, didn't work. Private jet, didn't work. Nothing worked. I'm surprised Dio even let them walk. They did walk, but they still got attacked by stand users. But it's still crazy that they even made it, because there was like so many top tier stands that they went up against, and I love the fact that with each season the stands get crazier and crazier. Like if they didn't top the stands in part 4 and part 5, I would literally say Stardust Crusader has the best stands in JoJo history. If they didn't top them, with each arc, because the stands in this series is really good, and I really loved how the stand of the weeks went. That's another trait, the stand of the week. They beat one stand user and they go to the next. And I like the fact that the whole saying of stand users are drawn to each other, because we've seen it happen numerous times. So it literally makes sense on why there's literally a stand of the week every time they just beat somebody up. But back to the stands. I really love each stand in the show. I really love how dangerous they were and how the group would find a way to defeat them. It mostly just be Jotaro hitting them with the oro 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 oro. Speaking of Jotaro, man, I love that dude, bro. I love watching him. I love his theme song. I love him when he punches niggas with. I love it when Star Platinum beats the shit out of people. I love everything about Jotaro. Jotaro is the GOAT. Okay, let me point this out. Jotaro is the GOAT of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but Joseph is the best JoJo. Hands down, no debate. Joseph is the best JoJo. Jotaro is the GOAT, but Joseph is the best. That's purely simple. There's no debating about that. Now, Stardust Crusader, it just gives you everything, man. It lays a blueprint of what happens. I mean, with what we get into with each arc. We have a group. We have a main character. We have a main villain. The main villain has something to do with time. We have stands of the week. Now, I would like to point out that Diamond is Unbreakable. Diamond is Unbreakable did a better job. Okay, I understand why some people would say, either part 4 or part 2 is their favorite. Part 4 is literally debatable on being the best, because it did everything Stardust Crusader did and bettered it. New town, new teenager. Because in the first parts of JoJo, we were in London. Moved to a new town, we're in Tokyo. Moved to another town, we're in Morio. Moving to another continent, we're in Italy. Now, part 4. Part 4 literally does everything that it does. It does everything Stardust Crusader does, but better. It has a main villain. Well, obviously everything has a damn main villain. What kind of statement was that? It did a better job with stands of the week. Like in Stardust Crusader, like it's understandable why they're being attacked relentlessly. That's why I say that part 4 did a better job with the stands of the week, because they weren't attacked all the damn time. There wasn't a purpose. It wasn't a purpose of being attacked every single week until towards the end of the show, with Kira's father sending stand users after Jotaro and them. That makes sense. So and the characters are better too. Like okay, part 4 gives you a better understanding of the life of a teenager, like how they think. Like Stardust Crusader had like freaking mature teenagers. They were teenagers, but they weren't like acting like teenagers. They weren't acting as goofy as Okuyasu and Josuke and Kakion and all of them. They weren't acting like them. They were basically teenagers compared to part 3. Because part 3 was a more mature term. I said mature. I said, what the fucking word I just said? I don't even know what word I just said. I was trying to say mature. Part Stardust Crusader was a more mature than part 4, but part 4 had a lot of dark shit in it. For the maturity of the characters in part 3, part 4 had a lot of dark shit in it. Part 4's darkness part 4's darkness is crazy. I'm not here to talk about part 4 though. Like there's so many great memes that came from JoJo, from Stardust Crusader. The infamous JoJo, Jotaro and Dio walking towards each other. The ho ho. Like, there's so many great memes that came from Diamonds. I said Diamonds Unbreakable. Well, I was about to. There's so many great memes that came from Stardust Crusader. It's literally a top tier. It's literally top tier, man. I don't even know if I'm even explaining why this shit is my favorite, but I'm just talking about like why I love it. Like the OST, man, the soundtrack is so beautiful too. Besides Stardust Crusader, Diamonds Unbreakable is my favorite soundtrack of the whole fucking trilogy. I said trilogy of the whole parts of the JoJo verse. Like each arc has that one or two songs, but like Diamond is Unbreakable has every damn song. Like literally. Why am I still talking about Diamond is Unbreakable? I do not know. I'm just gonna keep talking until I feel satisfied. Like I've literally become obsessed with JoJo, bro. Like every notification I have is like JoJo related. My ringtone is Jotaro's theme song. My message notification is order. But not order, but it's a single order. I even have I have Dio's Zoordo, the sound effect. And no, I have that as a notification for something else, and I have the Muda as another notification. It's crazy, bro. Stardust Crusader really is my favorite part of JoJo, man. There's no debate about it. Diamond is Unbreakable would be my second, because it did part 3, but it did it better, which is why I say part 4 is highly debatable on being the best part in JoJo. Like just the journey alone is fun as hell, man. Just seeing all of the top tier moments we got in JoJo in Stardust Crusader is so funny. It's so amazing, bro. One of my favorites is, besides Steely Dan, my favorite is the Darby Brothers. The Darby Brothers is my all-time favorite moments in JoJo history. It's literally it's top 5 for me. Like we get introduced to the big brother, Big Brother Darby, Card Master, and he's literally mopping the floor with everybody. And then all of a sudden, this nigga Jotaro, he doesn't even he bluffs the shit out of him by not even looking at his cards. He just did that one simple move. And the thing about it was, he was fucking with him the whole time by having Star Platinum do dumb shit that he would notice, like getting him a cigarette, lighting it up, getting him a drink, just doing dumb shit like that to even make I said Barbie, but Joseph did call him Barbie though, just to fuck with him, to convince Darby to even think that that Star Platinum was actually fast enough to switch the cards. That was so funny. And then everybody just like they were all having panic attacks and breathing and shit. It was so freaking funny. And then we got Lil Brother Darby. Man, he got done up too. I've seen so many memes about that. So many memes from that scene. I've seen like so many videos like Jotaro plays Dragon Ball Fighters. Jotaro plays whatever game you want to name. Jotaro plays it against Darby, and it's so funny. It's so funny just watching those videos. Like I love the Boingo brothers, bro. The Boingo brothers. Like, I felt so bad for the little brother because, you know, he's shy and keeps to himself. And, you know, he wants to be around his big brother a lot. You know, most people can relate to that. And it was so sad because I really wanted to see the little brother come back again, bro. Because that boy Iggy gave him the business. Yeah, he was like, man, I'm gonna change my life. You know, I'm gonna use my fortune telling to help people instead of, you know, try to hurt them and stuff. And then all of a sudden, Iggy just comes out and he kicks a box and it hits Iggy, and then Iggy just starts attacking him. It was just so funny. I was like, damn it, man. But I do hope we still see him again though. I just love Stardust Crusader, man. I just love everything about it, man. Just the characters, the development, all of the moments, man. Dio versus Jotaro, one of the best anime fights. Not one of the best, one of the most memed anime fights in history. There's literally any scene in that fight, even the build up to it, that whole moment can be meme. You could pick any moment in that fight and you could meme the shit out of it. Like, go watch. Okay. Here's an experiment. Go watch the Jotaro versus Dio fight. Pick one moment, like randomly pick a moment. It doesn't matter which part it is. Watch that part. Watch whatever part you picked, and then just see how much it could be memed. I'm guaranteeing you that any part of that fight can be memed. I'm promising you that. That's the most mean fight ever, man. You don't believe me. I'm sure you do, but let's just leave it at that. But man, I love Stardust Crusader. Literally my all-time favorite. Part in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Diamonds Unbreakable will be second. I can't really rank Golden Wind because I'm still waiting for it to finish. I still got like about 6 episodes left from Toonami. If you love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, let me know in the comments. And if you love Stardust Crusader as much as I do, let me know in the comments. And if you could pick, and also, you know what? Tell me which part is your favorite. I don't care if it's anime or manga. You just tell me which part. What's your favorite part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? And, you know, explain to me why. Because I love hearing people's explanations on why something is the best or why something is the worst. Thank you for watching the video. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe.